So we're going to take a look at the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, progression spreadsheet and give you an overview of how to use this tool. When you select this spreadsheet, you'll see that you'll have viewing rights, but all the links should work. If you'd like to, you can make a copy. And down below, notice there are several different tabs that we'll be going through. In a later tutorial, we'll be talking more about creating a mix of this. But first and foremost, realize that this is a sequence of strategies kids should master. For example, they should master the +1 strategy before they get into the +0 strategy. +0 is a lot more abstract than plussing 1 onto something. So once they're secure in this, then they can move on to this, obviously, at the younger grade levels here. But also realize that something like count on 2 or 3 within 5 makes sense. It has to be for making 5. There's also a fact lookup. So if you click over into column A and type 3 plus 2, for instance, and hit enter, you'll see that is specifically found in this spreadsheet of where that particular fact looks or comes up in different strategy, which is a great conversation on like when would you use a doubles +1 versus making 5, depending upon maybe the problem that's being addressed or a word problem similar in nature. Also linked in here are a bunch of flashcards. So to practice, for instance, a doubles +1 or doubles test 2 strategy, you can click on this Flippity link. It'll take you out to a website called Flippity, and the flashcards are built from this spreadsheet, basically. Also realize that there's a randomization too as well. You can shuffle the cards. And then you can do the old turn and flip to move on to the next one for students too as well. There's other ways that you can practice these particular strategies too. If you take a look, some of the practice methods might not make sense depending upon what you're clicking on. So those links are throughout each strategy. Realize again that there's subtraction. Again, in the fact lookup, just notice that we have the subtraction key there because the subtraction symbol is different than a dash. So you actually have to type in 7 and then move over. Don't get rid of this symbol and 3, and then it'll show you where all 7 minus 3 is looking. If I actually type in 7 minus 3 with a dash, it actually doesn't work because the dash is different than a subtraction symbol. So in the subtraction tab, you'll notice, and the multiplication tab, we have the multiplication symbol there too as well. So I actually have to type in, 8 and move across that symbol. Don't erase it and put 3, and it'll show you that fact if you'd like to look it up. But if I do 8x, on the keyboard x3, you notice the x is a little bit different. It's not the same exact symbol. We had to do that for the Flippity flashcards to work too as well. So just a little bit of pieces there with your division and multiplication and subtraction. With your fact lookup piece, again, just realize that there is a progression that students should master, and using the running records, identify where those gaps are. And then using these spreadsheets could allow you to specifically target those skills for your students to build a specific strategy. And again, you can use this tutorial to how do I create a mixed bag of these different strategies. You'll also notice the last 2 tabs of this spreadsheet. One is a printable version, if you'd like to, of the math facts for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Nice little thing that we have kids do too with this is allow them to write on this in a piece of paper, maybe with a black marker. Say, hey, I know all my 0 facts. Most kids pick those up pretty quickly, and my 1s facts. And I'm pretty good with counting by 2s, so I have my 2 facts. So let them kind of X out or darken out that. And then what they can do is hone in on things that they learned. A lot of kids are pretty good with their 10 facts, so they can just cross this column out and cross this row out. And as they continue to cross rows and columns out, they focus in on the facts that they have trouble with. Really effective when you're talking about multiplication facts, because obviously multiplication facts build upon addition, which then build upon fractions, and really can create a solid foundation for students. Another nice thing we like to use, especially with this, is allowing kids to see patterns. A lot of times we just talk about developing fluency through practice and maybe not stepping back and thinking about it. But over here is I can just type in the number 4, for instance, and I can say, okay, what do you notice about all the multiples of 4 up to 100, obviously in the higher grade levels here. We're not speaking of K1 and 2 yet in this piece, or if you wanted to, you could get rid of these rows to speak to just the top 2 rows if you'd like to. and hide these rows if you like, and you can just speak through 1 to 20 for your first grade, second grade kiddos. But you can say multiples of 4, what does that look like? Multiples of 5, what do you notice? What do you wonder, kids? What patterns are you seeing? A lot of times kids who are more visual, this might help them in learning their facts a little bit better. And you can even add in another multiple too as well to see where multiples overlap each other, laying some foundations for greatest common factor, least common multiple, which kids learn at higher level grade levels too as well. So that's a quick overview of the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, progression spreadsheet. Thank you.